In this video, I'm going to go over the syllabus for Dftg 1405 for the fall semester of 2020. My name is Doug Smith, and we're going to be looking at my syllabus. You may be watching this from for a different section of the course, and in which case what you see on the opening page may be a little bit different. For this course this semester, what is called the course synonym is right here, the 06415. As I said, you may be enrolled with a different section or different synonym number, and so that might be a little bit different. Also, the section number for this class is 006, and so again, yours may be a little bit different, but everything else will be pretty much the same. So what you want to do is just refer to the first page of your syllabus. So, of course, my name is Douglas Smith. You may see another name there. In the fall, all of our courses are offered online only, and so in my case that means that I will hold live online Google meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. until 12:40 p.m. I can also be reached by appointment, and generally my appointment hours are going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 o'clock until 2:40. So, but if you have a different work schedule and you need me to meet at a different time, just go ahead and email me, and we can probably set up some time to meet. We could do a live Google Meet. And one thing I want to point out is that the Google Meets, you can project your screen with me and through the Google Meet, and so I can see what your problems are with a drawing, for example. The prerequisites for this course. There are no prerequisites for this course, but kind of half jokingly, I say that, a burning desire to learn how to create great technical drawings would be very useful for you if you have that kind of motivation. And that's sort of what we're talking about in this course is what makes a great technical drawing and what components and elements should it have. And so we're going to get into all of that kind of stuff in depth. We don't expect you to know anything at this point. We're also going to get into using a CAD program named AutoCAD. And again, I don't expect that you know anything about that. We'll learn that from the ground floor up. As I said, this is a 100% online class, and you are at the mandatory orientation meeting. If you're hearing this live, you may be hearing this outside of class. And as I said, I will be conducting these live meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. until 12:40 p.m. Now, what does that mean in an online class and I'm holding these live online meetings? Well, what that means is that I'm going to be talking about new concepts and new topics and introducing new assignments. And so I may spend an hour, I may spend 15 minutes. It just depends, because so much of what you need is going to be located in Blackboard that you'll be able to tune into Blackboard and follow the steps that we've laid out in there, watch videos, read PDFs, that sort of thing to actually do the assignments. The other thing that we've done for this class is created nearly 200 videos. And the videos are going to be very important that you watch. And this is why, if you look through the technology requirements for the class, it said that we suggest that you have a dual monitor setup. So by that, the best situation at home would be to have two monitors, and that would allow you to have AutoCAD, the CAD program, open on one, and on the other one to have one of our instructional videos open. That way you can watch the video for a while, you can pause it, you can work on AutoCAD, do what you saw in the video, you might back up the video and replay it. But it's a great way to work if you have the two monitors. If you don't, you're always having to close the video and open AutoCAD and work and try to remember what you just saw. It's a little clunkier, so definitely recommend two monitors set up. And monitors aren't too expensive. You could probably even pick up a used monitor and keep the cost down. But if you intend to take further courses in our program, having two monitors is definitely going to help you. All right. Now, to follow up, generally I record anything that we talk about in class, especially if it's instructional. I don't usually record the meetings if all we're doing is, if I'm just have it open for you to ask me questions and things like that, I may not record those. But if I'm bringing up a new topic or offering some instruction, my intention is to record those and post those in Blackboard, which we'll get more to Blackboard in just a second. So there is a required textbook for the class, and it is called Technical Drawing 101 with AutoCAD 2021. And you can pick that up. Actually, you can't pick it up in person, but you can order it through the ACC bookstore. And I have their address right here, but if you go to the ACC website and there is a little search window and just type in ACC bookstore, that will take you there. And then all you have to do is click on the semester and the class, which in this case would be Dftg 1405, and it will tell you which book to order. And we recommend ordering a new book, because there are sheets at the back of the book that we actually tear out and we sketch on. And the book is not very expensive. I don't know what it's selling for, somewhere around $50. But you get those sheets, plus I think it's much more, I think it's much easier to use the book when you're doing the assignments. The assignments and all kinds of things are in the book. You're going to actually use this book. And so I think having the bound copy of the book is just the best way to go for student success. I've had students who try to do the ebook and they're over there trying to read or look at a drawing on their phone screen, and it looks brutal. It looks painful to watch somebody try to figure out what's going on a drawing on a tiny screen like that. So that's what we recommend. Now, you can also order this on Amazon. The important thing is that you get it right away, because there will be an assignment even today at the end of this that I'm going to give you. And so you're going to need this book right away, because we're going to start doing some reading assignments, and we're going to have assignments out of that book starting next class for sure. I also recommend that you pick up a 0.9 or 0.7 millimeter technical pencil to do your sketches with. And I highly recommend that you pick up a highlighter, yellow or pink. Light green could probably work as well. It's really important that you have a highlighter in this class, because as we start to look at drawings where I'm grading them, you want to be able to go in there and mark off dimensions and things like that as you put them in the drawing, so you're sure that you did not leave one of those dimensions off of your drawing. And the best way to do that is with a highlighter. So two things you need to get, like I said, is a 0.7 millimeter or 0.9 millimeter technical pen. Now, I recommend a Pentel P207 if you're getting the 7 millimeter, or a P209. You could probably pick those up at any office supply store. Pentel is a good brand name. There are other good brand names out there, but you don't want to go cheap on this pencil. You want a decent pencil, one that you can press hard and the lead won't go back up into the barrel of the pencil. And so Pentel makes a really good kind of professional quality pencil that I recommend for the money. It doesn't cost very much. You should be able to get this Pentel for probably somewhere in the range of $5 to $7. And but it's a good investment, because you might use it for a couple of years while you're in this program. So the technology requirements are that you have a computer capable of running the free download of AutoCAD 2021. Now, you can find out about what those requirements are by looking in Blackboard. We even have some links in Blackboard that will take you to our department's website. But the main thing that you need to be aware of is that you need to have a computer with or what we recommend anyway, is a computer with a Windows 10 operating system, and that can run this desktop version of AutoCAD 2021. And the best place to find the requirements for that is at the Autodesk website. And you are going to be going to the Autodesk website and registering with them to set up a student account, which allows you to do the free download of the AutoCAD 2021 software. Now, that is the equivalent of like a $4,000 software product. So it's a really good deal because you're going to be able to download it entirely for free. And there are other softwares as you get into, if you stay in our program, that you can download for free from AutoCAD or Autodesk, which is the parent company, and then even other softwares that aren't in the Autodesk family that you can also download, like SolidWorks and Creo and some others. You do need to have a high-speed internet connection for this class. We recommend the 20 megabit download speed, but I think you could get away with something as low as even 5. But 10 is what we recommend as a minimum. It says at least 20, but actually I've talked to our tech support guys. They think if you at least you have the 10 megabit per second download speed, you'll be okay. If you are a Mac user, you're going to need to either run Apple Boot Camp or Parallels and separate the systems out so that you can have AutoCAD running on a Windows side of your Mac. And there is a Mac version of AutoCAD 2021, but it doesn't look like the PC version. And so if you do that, you're going to have to make some, you're going to have to adapt to how it looks versus the way it may look in our videos, because all our videos are based on the PC version of AutoCAD 2021. And I would say that most of industry uses the PC set up for their CAD programs. For whatever reason, it's like the PC won out in the CAD world. All right, so as I said, a dual monitor system is recommended, and we can get more information about that from our tech support guys if you need it. If you don't have the technology required for this course, ACC has a limited number of loaner laptops, and if you let me know that you need a loaner laptop, we may be able to get you one. It's not a promise, but we can at least look into it. ACC email. You need to set up your ACC email account because every communication that I send to you will be sent solely to your ACC email account. The reason I do this is that ACC requires faculty to communicate with our students through the ACC email account because it's considered a secure email account. And so this is how we address privacy issues of communicating with students. So if you send me an email through your personal email account, there's a good chance I'm going to reply back to your ACC account because that's the way we're supposed to do it. So you want to make sure that you check your ACC email account at least once a day, and maybe even more, because I'm pretty active about sending emails out to my class, and I may send an email saying, hey, there's a good help sheet now on Blackboard. I just made it today and I've put it up, and so I'm going to let you guys know that it's out there. So you definitely want to get set up with your ACC email account, and I'll get into that a little bit more here in a second. This course will be delivered entirely through a setup that ACC has called Blackboard. And Blackboard is a learning management system. And by that, the way this works is you log into Blackboard, and there will be links on the side, and it may say Module 1. And that may be the first thing we're working on. You'll click on Module 1. It's going to take you to a Blackboard page that may have Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, something like that. So that's kind of the way the class is set up, but definitely you're going to need access to Blackboard, and you get access to Blackboard through ACC's website. So you will have to establish your Blackboard login and everything else. It's all based on your ACC EID, and so I'm going to show you some more about that in just a second. So this is an image of what Blackboard looks like after you log in. And over on the left-hand side, you can see that big red ellipse. On on the left-hand side, what this is we call this the left navigation menu. And everything you need pretty much you're going to find right over here, like your syllabus and your textbook, announcements. So anyway, just, when I talk about the left navigation menu, this is what I'm talking about. It's on the left-hand side of the screen, and it runs up and down, runs vertical like that. And you'll just click on what you need. Now, when you look at our Blackboard setup, you're also going to see a link that I don't have on this slide, and that it says join the online meeting. And so we're going to set it up where if you click on that, it's going to take you to the online meeting on the day that your online meeting is set for, and it'll automatically take you there. And so, so for this class, when you click on that, it would take you to the Monday, Wednesday at 11 a.m. meeting. So if you were in my Tuesday, Thursday class and you clicked on that, it would take you to the Tuesday, Thursday meeting. And so just look for that link that's in here. There's some other links we've got set up in there on the latest version of Blackboard. Now, when you go to ACC's website and you search for how to log into Blackboard or how to log into ACC and get your EID set up, there is a page in there, and it may look something like this page right here. I think this graphic right here may change, but over here on the side, on the right-hand side, you're going to see a link to the ACC email. You're going to see a link to Blackboard, and you'll see a link to the ACC EID. Okay, so this is the first thing you need to set up is your ACC EID. All right, so there are a bunch of student learning outcomes for this class, and I'm not going to read all of those. But to paraphrase this, what we're going to do in this class is learn to make technical drawings. And these are the kinds of drawings used by engineers and architects in their office to do the work that they do. And we're going to learn to put dimensions on those drawings. And everything that we learn is going to be based on a standard that is set by an outfit called the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, or the National CAD standard. And so as we get into the course, you're going to learn more about that. But if you take the time to read down through this list of learning outcomes, you're going to see in several cases where it mentions, let me just circle one right here, an ASME standard. And we've got an ASME standard right up here. So just so you know what those are, ASME stands for the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and they have certain standards for how you dimension drawings and how you set up views and things like that. We also have what are called program level learning outcomes, and the program level learning outcomes are sort of what you learn by the time you graduate from our program. Now, those actually get a little broader as you get into the program, and I have a separate orientation video that talks about the degrees and the certificates offered by our program. But the program learning outcomes for a student who's majoring in architectural CAD are different from a student who's majoring in mechanical CAD or civil CAD or electronics CAD. And so we'll get into that much later in your training. All right, how does the grading work? Everybody likes to know how the grading works. Well, in this class, 70% of your grade depends on your daily work average. And so throughout this course, we have 10 chapters, and you'll get grades out of about 8 of those chapters, and maybe 9 even. And that's what comprises your daily work average. So 70% of the course is earned in that way. And so those are the things you come to class every day, because it's constantly changing. I'm constantly teaching you something new, constantly giving you new assignments as we progress through this curriculum. When we finish all of the daily work assignments, I'm going to give you the option of selecting between 2 capstone projects. One is called the mechanical working drawing, and the other is called the architectural working drawing. And you'll choose either of those, and that project will take 2 or 3 weeks. That will be at the end of the semester, and how you do on that makes up the other 30% of your grade. And so the point of this is to say that you could actually potentially pass the course with a C by doing great work on the 70% right here. But to make a A or a B, you need to make a good grade on the capstone project. And so the way the grading actually works is when we do the averages, if your average is between 90 and 100, it's an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and less than that is an F. Our program, if you were a major in our program, we do not count D's toward our degree. So if you made a D or an F, you would have to repeat the course. Generally, we think if you did all 100% and still came out with a C somehow, this course is so important to your future, we think maybe you ought to even consider at least repeating the course. So if you have any questions about how the grading works, just let me know. Okay, the policy on late work or missing work. I will have due dates on some of the assignments. I may not have them on everything that we do, but if I have a due date, I may impose a penalty if assignments are submitted after the due date. So just be aware of that. And that is a departmental policy that allows us, we put that into our syllabus. The reason for that is that out there in the real world, when you go to work for someone, handing your stuff or getting your work done on time matters. And so it's a legitimate concern and something that can affect your grade because it definitely affects things out there on the job. And, part of our goal here is to train you to survive in an office. All right, withdrawals. I'm not going to get into all the stuff about withdrawals, but it is there in your syllabus. You might want to read through all that. And the thing about a withdrawal is that it could impact your financial aid if you drop the course or if I dropped you from the course. Now, where I might drop you from the course is if I hadn't heard from you in a long time and you hadn't handed in any of your daily work, then you're getting into the territory where you might be dropped. And I would send you an email and I say, hey, you need to hand in some work, or you could be withdrawn from this course. Now, at the time that I'm making this video, I do not know for certain when our final withdrawal date will be. The college has not published it for the first 12 weeks. And this course is a 12-week course starting with the first 12 weeks instead of the last 12 weeks. Some of ACC's courses that are 12 weeks are going to start, they're going to cover the last 12 weeks of the 16-week semester. So they do have a withdrawal date for that, but they haven't set one yet for this one. I will find out what that is, but it's weeks off, so we don't have to worry about that today. All right. So if you have any questions about withdrawal, please contact me about that. Okay, incomplete grades. Because of the COVID thing, ACC became very liberal last spring and over the summer in the way it dealt with incompletes. And I do not think that those rules are going to be in place anymore. So now when you take an incomplete, that would generally involve something happening that prevented you from completing the class. Let's say that in week 10, you get the flu, heaven forbid you got COVID, but something like that prevented you from completing the capstone project, let's say. You might qualify to take an incomplete in that case, and if you take an incomplete, then you have until a due date in the next semester to finish all that work. If you don't finish the work of an incomplete, and everybody should be aware of this, it can turn into an F. So sometimes it's better to take a C than to take an incomplete, and then you may struggle to get all that other work done. So you would have been better off taking a C. And so always talk with your instructor about incompletes. Let me just say this. In our department, we don't give out a lot of incompletes. It's, we try to give those only in cases where something really dire happens to you, and or to a member of your family, somebody's sick and you have to take care of them, that might be something that would justify an incomplete. The problem with an incomplete is it almost has to happen near the end of the semester where this event happens, because if you take an incomplete, you try to get an incomplete at mid-semester, the following semester you don't have access to Blackboard anymore, and you don't have access to all the lessons and all the steps and everything else. So that's why it might be better to withdraw if something happens mid-semester rather than try to take an incomplete. Academic integrity is very important in our department here, the Architectural Engineering Computer Aided Design program, because we're dealing with computer programs that make a digital file. And so it's pretty easy to cheat in the sense that somebody can make a drawing, could give it to you, you could try to put your name on it and submit it and say, hey, that's my CAD file. If you get caught doing that, that would be considered a breach of academic integrity, or in other words, cheating. And it's a very serious offense in our department. And you don't want to go there. So, and by the way, I am also the department chair, so I'm the guy that generally deals with these things. I think it's much better to contact your instructor or contact me and say, hey, I'm running late on this project, rather than get caught sharing a file. And the other thing I want to warn you about sharing a file is that if you give your file to someone else and they get caught, it's going to come back on you. And then you're going to look like the cheater as well. So there's no upside to this. Plus, you don't learn anything by copying somebody's file. So that's my my sermon on cheating. Don't do it. Talk to me if you're going to be late, and let's try to figure out an alternative. Okay, so because things can get really nasty for you if you get caught cheating. And let me just say this, that it's pretty easy to find if two files are the same. I mean, that's really simple to figure out, and all the faculty here are pretty much experts in this field, and they're going to pick up on things really quickly if you try to slip something past them, I think. And so things that could happen to you is like a failing grade in the course, or a failing grade on the project, or we assign a whole new harder project to you. So it's always better to avoid it. But I would recommend that you just read through that so you know what all the consequences can be. And I'm not insinuating that any of you guys would cheat. I certainly hope that you wouldn't. But I just wanted to bring that up because I don't want to be dealing with it later. Our program is going to offer free online tutoring. We do this every semester. And there will be a tutoring link in Blackboard. And what would happen is you would left click on that link, and that's going to take you to another page, and that page will have the names of all of our tutors. Now, I have only one pulled up here, and that's our tutor named Joseph. He's primarily an architectural tutor, but all of our tutors should be able to help you with Dftg 1405, the course you're in now, and they can help you with other classes as well. But in Joseph's case, if you were in an advanced architecture class, he would be somebody good to pick on. So you pick here if it's the time of day, that Joseph is on. Like I said, we may have 5, 6, 7 tutors for you to select from depending on the time of day. When you click on that, you will be taken to a Google Meet, or you'll get into some sort of email exchange or something with Joseph, and he will either invite you to a Google Meet, or some sort of live thing where he can see your screen and he can help you out. So anyway, I hope you'll take advantage of this if you need it. It's completely free, and generally we offer tutoring 7 days a week. Now, I don't think the tutoring will start this semester, probably until it might be September, but then that's just based on when our funding for tutoring comes available. I don't think it's going to become available until September 1st, and the class is starting on August the 24th. So it may be a couple of weeks before tutoring kicks in. The course calendar for this class, we have 24 classes, and I don't know if we have any holidays in there. I don't think we do, because this class ends on the last day of the semester is November 15th. So we will end before Thanksgiving, and that's one of our holidays usually. I guess we might take off for Labor Day. But anyway, so we have approximately 24 classes, and it just depends on how fast you guys are moving through the curriculum. But approximately classes 1 through 19 will be those daily work assignments, and then classes 20 through 24, you'll be working on the capstone project. And by the time you're working on the capstone project, this is like a big final project. There will not be a final exam. There will be a final project instead, and this will be multiple sheets. It'll be a drawing that, if it's a mechanical drawing, there might be up to 4 sheets, and if it's the architectural drawing, it'll definitely be 2 sheets, but it has also some extra credit, so even your architectural project could go up to 4 sheets if you want. But it's pretty much going to cover the last 2.5 weeks or so of the semester. So that's how big of a project it is. And there will be videos available to help you with that. There'll be videos available to help you with all the daily work activities as well. So that kind of covers our work schedule. Now, at this point, if this is a live a live class, I would open this up for questions. If you're watching this asynchronously, you might send me email if you have questions about things. What I would recommend is that you go to the orientation video 2, which is going to talk about the architectural and engineering computer-aided design program at ACC, and give you an overview of the degrees and certificates and the kind of training that you can get here. All right, I hope that this was helpful.